Ladies and gentlemen, it is just my pleasure and honor to welcome here with us today the great Maury Wells.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor Tanaka. It's such a pleasure to be here for the occasion that we're here for, and to be with all these baseball players. I joined the Dodgers when I was 17 years old in Washington, D.C., and I'm still with them. So you can, that was 1950. So you can do the math. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to say when I got up here, and I got inspired when I heard all the speakers. So I'd like to share with you how I got to the major leagues, because the Negro leagues were the leagues that I was looking forward to going to play in, because I know all the names that were called and mentioned this morning. And so in Washington, D.C., we had the Homestead Braves, who were in the Negro Leagues. And it just so happened that I went up to try out with them, and they were going to sign me up. But what happened was some of the older men in the projects I lived in Washington, D.C., got together and took me to a tryout camp. And they had some major league teams there. And the Dodgers signed me out of that camp just before the Homestead Braves got to sign me. But growing up, as a kid, wanting to play with older men, and we didn't have the fields with fences and like the kids have today. In fact, we didn't even have any bases. We would smash an old 10-gallon metal can and use that for a base. I still have scars on my knees from sliding into those cans. We played in big, no scoreboards, no fences, but big open fields. So when we hit a ball in the gap, now y'all might not know what a gap is, but the baseball players know. That's in between left center and right center. And that ball would just roll forever. So what we would do is throw our heads back and run. And that's how I learned how to run those bases, to tag the inside corner and get home. So when I came to the major leagues, I brought that kind of baseball with me. And so Hank Aaron, I'm going to close with this. Hank Aaron wrote a book which made me, I'm only 5, I claim to be 5'9½". But it made me feel 10 feet tall. Hank Aaron said, and then this kid, Maury Wells, came into the National League, started doing things that nobody had seen before. It was Negro League style baseball. That's what it was. I grew up with that. And I made a pretty good career doing that, and led the league in stolen bases 6 consecutive years, and it was mentioned stole 104 bases one year. My legs telling me I stole more than that, but I would do it again. I know all the names that all the men have mentioned here from the Negro Leagues. I got to know Jackie Robinson personally. I bond-stowned with him in 1953. When we didn't have television as we know it today. So the people in certain parts of the country, like in the South, did not get to see Major League Baseball because they didn't have the networks. And so Jackie would put together a team. He'd only get 2 other Major League players, and then the rest he would fill in with Dodger minor league players. And he paid us whatever we made for that season. And it was $300 a month. I started off at $150 a month. And I would do it again today. That's how much I love the game. So I bond-stowned with him for that $300. We traveled throughout the South, and I got to know him. He's a no-nonsense person. We played against the Indianapolis Clowns in the Negro Leagues. And they were in their bus, and we were in the bus with them. But Jackie drove in a car. He had a driver. But he would come to that bus after every game and count heads to make sure that everybody was on there before we would take off to go to the next town. I'm telling myself here. I saw a little girl in Biloxi, Mississippi in 1953. She batted her eyes at me, and I told the bus to go on. I'm going to stay. I think Jackie might have saved me. He did save me because when he checked the bus and found the where's Will, said, well, he's staying. And he grabbed me by the collar. They came over. That was my home plate and said, boy, you get in that bus. So I did. So I'm doing a lot of reminiscing here. I've been to the Negro Leagues in Kansas City at least 3 or 4 times. It's a great place, and if you ever get the opportunity, please go. You would really enjoy it. Thank you for inviting me, everybody. I'm happy to be here, and I love you all.